Hello, hello. Welcome to today's episode where we dive into the expectations, how to navigate the expectations. This is really one of my favorite topic because expectations, oh my God, it can be really a killer in our motherhood experience, in our motherhood journey, because expectations are endless, most of the time even contradictory. And when you just try to follow the rules, be the good girl, if you have been anyone just like me, you just try to comply with these expectations, which will only result you always falling short, therefore you feeling not good enough. But as always, this is not about you. This is not about that you are doing something wrong. It's more about the expectations. So let's uncover what are the expectations? What's really happening? Why do we want to comply with those expectations? I'm also going to share one specific story of mine that's going to help you to see like, oh my God, what to do when they are contradictory. And even when we just try to comply with them, even then, I'm going to let you know what's happening in your brain. So you are going to understand better what's happening, why we want to comply so much. And then I'm also going to tell you how you can navigate the expectations because honestly, expectations are just there and they are even just growing for mother moms. So I want to kind of arm you. I want to help you to deal with them, to really navigate them because they are going to be there. They are going to be endless. And it's really up to you to navigate them so you don't feel burned out and overwhelmed and like you're not good enough. Are you ready? Let's jump in. So, what are expectations? Expectations are really a lot of shoulds in your life. Like it can come literally from your partner, from your mother-in-law, from your friends. It can come just you're not even aware of where it comes from. It's just like culturally you think something is expected from you, or we have this so deeply ingrained in our brain what it should look like to be a good mom, to be the perfect mom. That's based on this expectation list. Like, how do we know who is the good mom? Who is the good mom who we are constantly comparing ourselves to? Based on this expectation list. So I'm going to share with you a little bit later on the contradictory list of expectations because I think when we really face that as such, it's going to help you to see all of that in the light. And like that, it's not going to be able to hide from you, but you are going to see them and maybe able to laugh with me on them, how like impossible they sound when we speak about it, when we bring them to the light. Because if we not, if there is just a lot of should in your head, I should be more with the kids. I should be more present. I should be more fun. I should yell less, etc. When there is a lot of should, it is kind of, it seems to be a gentle, nice voice in your head, which just wants you to improve. But most of the time, it is not. Most of the time, it's rather a bitch voice nagging you and pulling you down, like whatever you are doing is just not good enough because you should. You should do something else and somehow else. So today's episode is really for you to understand that this is the among the top three biggest problems with motherhood, that expectation list is simply endless, impossible, unrealistic, and many times contradictory. So I just want to bring everything to the light so we can really like change it the way you want. And then I'm going to help you also how you can navigate them. So the expectations are really something that we think we should do, or it's like very clearly is expected from us, either from our loved ones or just from society, or or it can literally come from your friend, from your mom. You heard it, or maybe it's coming from your boss. Like expectations is something is expected from you, the way you should behave, the what you should do. So you can catch expectation when you are like paying close attention to should, where you are shooting yourself or where others are shooting you. So, the interesting question now, let's talk just a minute about your brain, about the human brain. Why do you want to comply with those expectations? Why do we want to comply with all those shoulds? Because our human brain is wired for survival. Like the deepest programming in our human brain is that so we survive. And therefore, one of the features here is that the human brain wants to be part of the tribe. So you can imagine that in cave times, if you were cast out, if you were not part of the tribe, you were the first one eaten by the tiger. So you wanted to be the part of the tribe. So you have some sort of protection and security. Now, the human brain didn't really evolve. The human brain hasn't evolved in many ways, in many other ways, our human brain evolved. But long story short, your brain now, even if we are not anymore in the cave times, your brain is still wired for wanting to be the part of the tribe. What are expectations? Expectations are simply rules, like rules in modern society, rules in our relationships. So we want to comply with the rules. Like that's a human programming. Like your brain wants to be the part of the tribe, meaning your brain wants to follow the rules of the tribe. So just think about when the society wants you to be a good mom and whatever that is, whatever that means, just think about that list you have in your head. You want to comply with all of them because you want to be the part of the tribe. You want to seem like the good mom, somebody who is in the tribe, who is accepted, who is really following the rules. And this is this is not to scare you, or this is not to, oh, you cannot really do anything about it. This is what the human brain does and you are just fucked up. That's it. It's just really understandable that we want, like basis zero level, we want to comply with the expectations because that is what our brain wants. And that's just so natural. There is nothing wrong with you. But what happens when those expectations are too much, unrealistic, or even contradictory? There, you have to be able to navigate those expectations so you really comply with the ones you want to comply with, and you can drop the ones that you don't want to comply with. That's the art of navigating the expectations, to be able to let go of the expectations you don't want to comply with and only comply with the expectations that you want. And then you can drop a lot of the shoulds because all of the shoulds are really overwhelming. So let me tell you my very specific story, how I faced these contradictory expectations and really made me think about like, wait a minute, I cannot win either way. Like just wait a minute. What's going on here? So originally, I'm from Hungary, and there the maternity leave is 3 years. Yeah, you heard that right. 3 years long. And that is my preconditioning. That is how I was socialized, how I was brought up. Like being with the baby, it's just super important, and that is what the baby needs. And also, my mom was a teacher, and she was so long with us at home. And even after, she just returned to work part-time. And that was the norm for me. This is how I was raised. But then I was giving birth in Belgium. And in Belgium, the maternity leave is 3 months, or to be more precise, 15 weeks. You see the difference? So if I want to, tell the story through the lens of expectations, is the expectations of my family and my preconditioned brain, like my internal expectation, was also about to stay at home as long as possible, preferably 3 years long, because that is what the baby needs. That is what the kid wants. And my family wants, definitely, to fit in, to be part of the tribe, to be part of my family and the expectations of my home tribe, let's say, that expected me or would have expected me to really stay at home for 3 years. On the other hand, the new tribe, because I had a new tribe there, I had colleagues and friends, I had a corporate job, and there I was expected to return as soon as possible, preferably after 3 months. And then you see the contradiction here. Like my brain wanted to, obviously that is the wiring in the brain. My brain wanted to fit in, to be part of the tribe. But now I had two tribes because I had my home tribe who like expected me like, are you crazy? Are you even considering to go back to work? And on the other hand, I had this new tribe where I was living. That was my new environment and I wanted to fit in, obviously. So that expectation was for me to return as soon as possible. And my mind went crazy, literally. Like I at the time, I was in postpartum depression. I couldn't make decisions. I was really deep down in that hole. And this was definitely making it even worse because it was constantly nagging me. What should I do? When should I return to work? Like I cannot return still to work. Like what's going on? And before I tell you exactly how I decided and what the outcome was, I just wanted to let you know also that you are going to see all type of information always backing up the things you are believing in or you are considering like when you are making a decision. So, for example, regarding when to return to work or when not, when to start daycare or when not, I'm sure we are going to talk deeper and more about this later in this podcast. So, I heard a therapist saying, I just saw this video and I heard this therapist saying that kids don't need community. Little kids don't need anybody but a family. So, if you are choosing daycare below 3 years old, you choose daycare, then you are doing it for you, never for the child, because the child doesn't need a community. It's only about you. I don't remember now whether she used the word selfish, but definitely my mind interpreted it that way, that you are a selfish bitch. If you pick daycare, and oh my God, it just pissed me off so much because I remember me having this really hard time making this decision whether or not to go back to work and when and how. And this is such a unique and personal decision. Nobody knows your circumstances, your financial circumstances. Nobody knows whether you need it, you want it, maybe for your own mental health to go back to work. So, shaming parents like this, it pisses me off so much because that is just a wonderful example of expectations. Again, what she was saying there is that this is the expectation that you are expected to stay at home for 3 years because that is the best for the baby, for the kid. And nobody gives a fuck about you and about your mental state and about what you want, about your capacity. Like, what matters is the expectations that research is backing up that the kid has to stay at home for 3 years. If you choose it, if you love being at home, if you love being a stay-at-home mom, sure, use this evidence to back up your decision. But if not, then you don't use it against yourself. Just because there is an external expectation, it should not mean that it makes you feel like shit. Because what I hate about these black and white expectations is that they don't consider who you are. What is your capacity? What are your dreams? And we are diving into the contradictory expectations in a minute. So, jumping back to my own story, I was there. I was like really like struggling in this decision, like when I should go back or should I stay home or what's happening. And I realized that I literally at the time I was luckily already working with my coach, but I just reached a point and I said like, you know what? Fuck it. I cannot win. Because if I go back to work, then my family is going to point fingers and I'm not going to be part of that tribe, because I'm going to be the black sheep who just goes back to work, even though I should stay at home. If I say, like, you know what, I just quit my job, I don't care, I really want to stay with my baby and I really want to finally enjoy motherhood, when just step by step I was coming out of postpartum depression, then my new tribe would not understand me. Like, what the heck is wrong with you? You're just quitting your job just because you had a baby. Like, what? So when I reached this point, when I saw very clearly, like, I cannot win here because either or, then something was just kind of easing up in me. Like these conflicting expectations kind of exploding in a minute or in a second. And I was just there realizing that, oh, wait a minute, what do I want? Here is the expectation A, here is the expectation B. Maybe you even have even more. So then it was the time for me to check in with myself. What do I want? And eventually, long story short, and without the details, but I stayed at home for 10 months, which was amazing for me. And after a year, I returned to my work, and I was so happy to return to my work. And my manager at the time, she was just amazing and supporting my return, that I could really return gradually, which I'll be forever grateful for. But here, because we talk about the expectations today in this episode, I just want you to see that expectations, yes, can be contradictory. And the way you can navigate it is always to come back to, what do I want? And then let's dive into, let's bring them really to the surface, to the light. What is it really that expected from us modern moms? Because honestly, the expectation list is literally endless. So I'm just bringing some of the examples today for you. Let's just roll our eyes together or have a laugh or whatever feels just best for you in this moment. But just let's dive in. What's really expected from us? It's number one, be fully present with your kid, but also stay productive and ambitious in your personal and professional life. Stay at home and be with the kid, but at the same time also contribute financially. Like stay at home because it's so important in the first years of the baby's life, but at the same time, don't waste your degree, and then raise happy, emotionally intelligent kids, but don't use yourself. Don't lose your identity in the process. Like, know who you are. Create a tidy, beautiful, Instagram worthy home, but don't make other moms feel bad. Be real and relatable. Cook homemade meals, but don't obsess over the fruit. That's also a funny one. Always like, what do I feed my baby? Breastfeed for at least a year because that's best for the baby, the liquid gold. But then also return to work and then, pump or whatever, just figure it out. Say yes to every development milestone, but also protect your child's free play and unstructured time. Be gentle, respectful, and attachment oriented, but also raise resilient and independent, well behaved kids. Run the household like a CEO, but make it just look effortless. Don't complain or show burnout. Be deeply grateful and fulfilled by motherhood, but don't let it define you. You are more than just a mom. Stay calm, patient, and emotionally regulated, but do it all by chronically sleep deprived and mentally overloaded. And by the way, we are the sandwich generation that we have never been taught really about proper emotional management. But just do it because that's expected from you. Ask for help and speak up about mental health, but don't appear like you're struggling too much. Keep it together and don't complain too much. The list goes on and on and on. The reason why I brought this up, and just as an example, the list is really not exhaustive. There is just so much more. It's just for you to see, to bring together this to the light, to see how impossible it is to comply with this expectation, how impossible it would be to comply with these all. And we still try because we want to be part of the tribe. We want to be the good girls who are following the rules. But what if seeing now all these expectations, being aware that all the shoulds in your head are actually expectations that you can say no to, and you get a chance to ask yourself, what do I want? Because basically, when we talk about how to navigate the expectations, it's really about number one, know what you want. Dare to ask yourself, what do I want in this situation when you feel like, you're kind of pressured by contradictory expectations? What do I want? Ask that every single day if you need to. Ask that. Number two, learn how to make a decision. And to make a decision, it's really to be able to just calm your chattery mind, which tells you that there is a wrong decision and you have to make the right decision, and it's either A or B or you are gonna die. Like, bring that drama down and then learn how to make a decision that really reflects your priorities, your values, and have your own back when you are making that decision, knowing that you can want things in spite of whatever the expectations are. And number three, listen to your body. Your body holds wisdom. When you are in a situation where you need to make a decision, when you are in a situation where you are shooting yourself or, oh, I shouldn't, listen to your body. You can practice it. You can really strengthen this connection with your body because your body holds the wisdom and the truth. So when there is a yes, you can hear that, you can feel that. And when there is a big no, 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 you don't have to wait to get down to burnout or to have a migraine or to have any physical symptoms because you can actually listen to your own body when you make a decision how you live your life. So, as a summary, expectations are there. There will be always. And the list of expectations is just kind of endless. And as we saw, so many times even contradictory. And that's normal that we want to comply with these expectations. It's just a natural reaction of our brain. There's nothing wrong with you. But if you want to navigate the expectations, if you want to ease that overwhelm, if you want to really feel that you are choosing your way, which feels lighter and more joyful, then you will need to just drop into your body, connect with your body, and ask yourself, what do I want? Because this perfection, like, complying with all the expectations, is just impossible and unrealistic. It's exactly good enough the way you choose doing things. You are a good enough mom by choosing your way over the expectations. And that is actually going to guarantee a more joyful, fun experience in motherhood than just being burned out and overwhelmed by trying and trying and trying to comply with the stupid expectations and then fall short. Because that only will make you feel like you're not good enough. But I guarantee that you are. keep on listening because we are deconditioning your brain from all the expectations and all the things that are now engaging you. And I cannot wait to see you more empowered and closer to your confidence and good enoughness. Thank you so much for listening in today, and I cannot wait to talk to you again.